Okay, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Andrea James, docket number 20-110FH. Mr. James, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, this is the time set for sentencing. Mr. James, would you just verify for me that you were okay with us doing the sentencing on Zoom rather than bringing you to the courthouse?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. James, you were convicted of domestic assault and battery, third offense. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Feigelson. And Mr. Feigelson, have you had a chance to review the pre-sentence report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Judge, just two. I think the jail credit, well, three, the sentencing date should be today's date instead of June 28th.
I got that, and I changed the jail credit to 217.
Yep, right. And then the other change that I had is in the family section of the report. I think it's on page, I'm not sure which page it's on, but I think it's on the report from the sentencing date of June 5th of 2019.
Yeah, it's gotta be, because they don't do a family section. Right. Okay.
That should be Barbara James as opposed to Barbara Wilson for her sister.
Wait a minute, let me find it. Barbara James. Okay. Got it.
I didn't have any other changes to the report, Your Honor.
All right, any objection to the scoring of the guidelines?
None on behalf of the defense, Your Honor.
All right, did the people, Ms. Nelson, have any corrections to the report or objections to scoring?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
And was there a victim who wanted to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Patrice Brown appears to be present on Zoom. I did speak with her earlier today, and she had wished to appear before the court today for sentencing. I would defer to her for any statements she might like to make before Your Honor.
Sure. Ms. Brown, if you want to be heard, please unmute yourself. It might help too if you put your video on, but you have a chance to be heard now if you wish. And you're on mute. There you go.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
Good. Go right ahead.
I would just like to say that I don't know what else to do. This relationship, this bond, this thing, it's over. It is, and I do have to say that and make it clear, because if I don't, then it'll continue. So I do want, I want the best for both of us. Don't get me wrong. I don't, wish him any wrong, any harm, but those are my words. That's how I feel in my heart. And I walked through a lot with Mr. James that nobody else has ever could imagine. And he knows that. So if anyone else, at least he hears me and sees me clearly, and it's a good understanding as to where I stand. So as a, because I don't want him to come towards, calling me or my home or any of his belongings or any of those things, because I just, I can't bear to be with him. Honestly, don't get me wrong. He's not a, he's human. He makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect. And I have this as well. I have, but I can't allow myself to be damaged anymore. So I'm sorry. And this is the way it is. I just can't no longer be, involved in this situation. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't. I do care, don't get me wrong, but I care enough. I love myself. I love my children. I have to get back to my children. I miss them so much. And, you know, I feel like I really had a long time that I miss myself. I'd like to see myself again. And I'd like for him to see himself and actually do himself some good. Because he really has a lot of skills and he's really a good-hearted person. I do believe that. You know, things, I don't know if it was drugs or, other personal things or, maybe mental health, I don't know what happened, but I can't do Andrell and I want the best for Andrell. And, I don't want to keep nagging on and going on and on and on and on. But, to make a long story short, because it's been 11 plus years. So it's been quite a long time. And, I don't know what else to say or do to be honest with myself, be honest with him, be honest with the state of Michigan, and so that everybody can move on and that he can grow, I can grow, he can progress. We need to make sure that we don't make this mistake again. And it's not a mistake, it's a learning lesson for both of us. Our children had to endure this, my family, his family. I pray that, he makes it to be 43. I am 43. We need to grow and grow from this. Be damaged because we've already damaged ourselves enough. So that's my piece.
All right, thank you, Ms. Brown. I do appreciate you being here, and I think Mr. James heard you loud and clear, so thank you very much.
Welcome.
And did the people wish to be heard?
Your Honor, I don't want to take away from Ms. Brown's statements. I think that those are the most important thing here today. I would just ask the court to adopt the recommendation that seems to align with the sentencing agreement that we put into place at the plea, but we leave the rest in the court's discretion.
All right, thank you. And now your turn, Mr. Feigelson, if you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense as well would ask that the court file the Killebrew agreement. Mr. Andrell made a poor decision that day. He regrets it, and he hopefully hears the words from Ms. Brown loud and clear. I do believe this is a man who can take this experience and learn from it, Your Honor. He's only doing what he needs to do, and we would ask that the agreement be filed. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and then you, Mr. James, did you wish to say anything?
I just want to tell Patrice that I'm sorry, and I do agree with what she's saying.
Okay,
I apologize that day got out of hand. It should have never went to that. And she know 1,000 times wholeheartedly that I'm sorry. And I accept my responsibility. I was dead wrong. My hands belong working, not on people, and I apologize.
Okay, thank you, Mr. James. I think she heard that. And, unfortunately, I mean, she's given a very humble and sincere statement in which she says she's sorry, but she has nothing to be sorry about. I mean, she has every right to say that, this is over and she does not want to be with you or have contact with you any longer. So the thing here is that you're already serving a sentence imposed by another judge where you've been sent to the Department of Corrections. This runs at the same time. And there's a Killebrew agreement of no more than 12 months. So the sentence is pretty straightforward, and that is 217 days in jail with credit for 217 days served. You have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. I'm waiving costs to the county, and you are to have no contact with Patrice Brown, no contact in any form. Don't call her, don't write to her, don't email her, don't text her, don't contact her through social media. She wants this over, and I am ordering you not to have contact with her. Mr. James, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. There is a form you use to do that. It's called Appellate Rights, and we will mail it to you. You should just know that if you want to appeal, that 42 days starts running from today. All right, and unless you have any questions, Mr. James, that will conclude our hearing.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Then you can tell them there you're all done with your hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck.
Thank you.